All right, guys. So I am super pumped up. I got Tobe on today, FFL International Empire. Tobe is smashing it. He's growing a huge agency, Hall of Fame producer. I believe he was the first FFL agent to protect 100 families in a month that I remember, Tobe. 100 families in a month. Give me a thumbs up if that's right.
I think you're wrong. I think you're wrong, Josh. I wish.
But hey, man, I'm super excited and grateful for you getting on the call. And we got you in Vegas, which is super exciting too, out there in the Vegas office. But for everybody that doesn't know you and a lot of new agents on the call, can you just introduce yourself? How long you been with FFL? What are you doing personally? And what's your team doing, man?
Right. Thank you guys, Alondra, Josh. Thank you guys for having me. It's definitely good to be back. So I've been with FFL 2 years, well, 1 year and 10 months now. So this is probably going to be my 11th month this November. I started December of 2020. I was at a captive agency prior to that. So I did a little bit of family and friend selling. That didn't go as perfectly as I wanted it to go. But we gained some great experience. So, definitely grateful for Family First Life and where we're at now. So last month we did, as an agency, about 800. We can talk numbers here.
Yep.
Yeah, 800 grand as an agency last month, and personal sales was about 50 grand last month.
Wow. And bro, one thing that's really impressed me, because it's one thing to do it, right? But it's like another thing to do it and you're growing an agency and continuing to do it. Because I think that's where a lot of people mess up, is they let off the gas personally way too soon, and the whole agency feels it, right? Because a lot of people are like, hey, my bank account's looking good, the team's growing, we're doing 250, 300, but then the personal sales go down and the team volume goes down. So can you just kind of talk about how important it's been for you and your agency to lead, man, could consistently do 30, 50, 70 families every single month? How important is that for your business?
Right. I think it's the most important thing from several angles. I mean, if you look at, Sean has talked about the psychology of an override thing. For me, that's the main thing, is I don't need any income from the agency. Like I don't need it. And the people that work with me also know that. So the dynamic isn't weird. Yep. Like if I was sitting at home and just expecting people to go sell to make money, to each their own, but that would just not be the greatest work relationship. You know what I mean? So the fact that, I'm able to go out, do 30, 40, 50 consistently, and we have producers that go out and do the same thing, it just creates, I think, a better culture for the entire organization. And then secondary to that is, if you look at from a staffing standpoint, like if you really want to grow a business, except you were born into like, Jeff Bezos' family or something like that, then you probably have to go sell some insurance to gain capital, to have staff and recruiters and all that kind of stuff. So that's what is a lot. Me selling insurance has allowed us to scale the business. Okay. So those two main things is what I would say.
Yeah, dude, you hit it on the head, bro. And I think the income thing is what I really want to turn back around, because it's great, right? Hey, there's people that have $1 million agencies and then they're not producing anything, and then their numbers don't look good. They wonder why their growth stunted, because they don't have money to reinvest back in to get staff and get other things, right? And that comes back into the psychology of an override. It's like, it's a weird relationship when you feel like, hey, what's going on? Why are your sales down? And it's like, well, dude, you haven't produced. Like, what's going on your end? I haven't seen you out there. But can you kind of talk about financially, if you don't mind, a ballpark, what do you have coming in and what are you putting back into your business? Because I think a lot of people, they don't really know, how much to put back in.
Right. So I picked this up. Actually, Josh, you guys did a video. I think you did a video recently. I think it was last convention, where you talked about the separate bank accounts. Either you and Alondra did it or one of you guys did it. But truly, that was crucial for me, because I was just one bank account. Like, that's my money, and I'm balling. And then when I separated bank accounts and I started paying myself about $800 a week, that was my salary. Like that's my, it was very humbling, but then it also was very freeing, right? Because now I didn't think I was a baller. So I think the main thing was understanding from an income standpoint that if you, however fast you want to scale it, you got to create leverage. So leverage is staff, Obviously, leverage is the more agents you have in your team recruiting and selling, that's more leverage. But personally, your leverage is staff, right? So if you have one staff and I have 2, 3 staff that are efficient, you're gonna get smoked, you know, in the long run. That's just how it's set up, right? So for me, a lot of the income, I definitely pour back in. So I mean, you asked more specific numbers. I would say right now, 50 to 70 monthly in total. And I mean, not to scare anybody, but at least half of that goes back in.
Yep. Yep.
You know, at least half of that goes back in with some of the stuff we're doing with lead assist programs right now, 3 staff. So yeah, at least half of that goes back in.
And guys, this is Toby. I appreciate you sharing that, man, and being transparent. But guys, this is real, man. And if you're producing 15, 20,000 a month, guys, you're getting going. You need to do this right away. Because again, you don't become emotional about looking in that bank account and saying, hey, I've never had 10 grand, dude. That's where we got stuck at, Toby. We saw 10 and we're like, hey, we can't buy leads until we're back up over 10. And guys, I know a lot of people are probably right there, man. You're looking at that number and you get emotionally attached to that number because you haven't seen it before, right? But for us, we paid ourselves $2,000 a month, and that was our number. Because we're like, dude, we're not trying to just go buy all these fancy things. We need to grow the business. And to grow the business, that requires you to put money back in at a high level. And guys, I'll share with you guys, Sean called this out in a meeting before. He's like, how much you got in your bank account right now, right? And we said the number. And he's like, what, are you guys just saving acorns? Like, are you just like little chipmunks saving on all the acorns? And guys, if you look at it like that, if you're not pouring it back in, you're not only hurting your business, but you're being selfish to everybody that's in business with you. So Toby, I think when people on your team see that you're doing that, see that you got 3 staff, see that your lead flow doesn't ever change, your production doesn't change, it's a no-brainer on why you're growing at the level you're growing, man. So kudos to you.
Thank you.
Next question for you, Toby. We got a lot of new people, man, that are kind of in that 10 to 20 a month range, right? I don't know if you ever were there producing, but what do you do, bro? Like, say you got a ton of agents on your team, right? And they want to take it to the next level. What is your advice on that, man?
So this is actually going to be like a convention plug right now. So to your point, I actually was at that production level for 2 months, kind of. Yeah. So my first month at FFL, I did 27. Second month, I did 15. And then convention happened. The next month after that, I did 50. And then the following month after that, I did 100. So that's kind of a convention plug. So the first thing I would say for agents that are doing, 10, 15, 20, the first thing is, how plugged in are you? I heard you guys talk about Bing Bong DAOs. I think Jesse Handler is a steady customer on there. So, I mean, I would plug into that. It's hard to be around somebody like Jesse and produce 10 a month. Like, it doesn't add up. So the first thing is get plugged in, get more involved. Watch more videos. When I started 9 to 5, every day I was watching FFL podcasts and training videos, non-negotiable, for like my first 6 months, every single day, except obviously Sundays. But plug in more emotionally, spend more of your time doing things like training, watching podcasts, being on live dials with people, calling, the leaders that you work with, get information from them. And then the second thing is really, how many hours are you working? So we did this recently. I did this with a group of producers, new producers that we worked with. All of them are what you would like call dogs, and like they worked very hard, and at least in their minds, they felt that way. And then I asked them in the group chat, I was like, hey guys, do me a favor and calculate how many hours you think you work. Like, do the math. And these are all people that work really, really hard. And I did it myself, and I consider myself somebody that works hard. And I was disappointed. It really wasn't what I thought it would be. So if you had asked me prior to that, I would be like, hey, I work 100 hours every week, man. I'm the hardest worker on earth. And then I did, how many hours am I actively doing work? Not thinking about work, doing activities of work. And some of them came back to me, full-time agents were like 20 hours, 15 hours, 30 hours, full-time agents. And I was like, okay, well, before you ever call me again and ask me about any trick, just double that. Like turn that from 20 to 40, or turn that from 40 to 50 or 60. And then let's see where that goes. And now we got people producing that were producing $2,000 a week. One of the guys I'm talking about, he just came off his best week at 11. Same lead flow, same everything, just more conscious about where he's putting his time. And then, Josh, last thing would be lead flow. I mean, we're in the numbers, like the business is numbers, you know, so we're learning that now on the recruiting side as well. But from a sales standpoint, it's, if you got 100 leads and out of 100 leads, you work 40 hours, out of those 40 hours, you wrote 5, chances are if you double to 200 leads, stayed at 40, you would still kind of almost double or quadruple your income, right? So one of the turning points for me was when I called like 5,000 of the top producers, that's an exaggeration, at FFL, and I was waiting for special sauce, but they kept saying, just buy more leads, buy more leads. And like you said, I was so emotionally attached to the 10 grand at the time in my bank account that I'm like, no, I'm not. I don't want to go to 9,700. I'm not going to buy more leads. So if you just double your lead flow and you're conscious about the work you put in, you remove the emotion out of it. I mean, that's really the fastest way to get to 20 a month. And it's not complicated.
Bro, and it's like, dude, what's crazy is because I'm sure a lot of people tuning in right now are like, okay, I need the sauce. Like, what is he going to tell me? Right. And because I did the same thing when we started, I'm like, what the hell's Brittany Smart doing, man? She's always just slanging. Like, I need the leads she's got. And then we talked to her, guys, they're the same exact, everybody's got the same stuff. There's no sauce. But I think what I wanted to tie back, bro, is lead flow is so important. And I don't know if that's something we go over enough, guys. Because we just assume that everybody's buying leads weekly, right? It's easy to assume everybody's working Tobe 40 hours a week, and then you have conversation, then it's like, no, dude, I'm working 18 hours, you know, and I'm going, I play Xbox. I wake up at 10. Like that's normal, right? But what I kind of want to get to everybody, guys, is if you're looking at your lead flow and you're scared to invest, I would rather go all in and figure it out whether it's going to work in 3 months instead of 9 months, Tobe. Because that's how we started, bro. And it was the worst 9 months of my life, dude. Because I was in the same spot financially. We both were. Because we half-assed our lead flow. We half-assed our work ethic. And it just drug it out. And then I would end up thinking on my off days, well, damn, I didn't make my money back on my leads. Like, what are we going to do? How are the bills going to get paid? So guys, go all in faster. Like, invest heavy fast. Because I would rather you go all in and figure it out in 2-3 months than just waiting a year. And you're like, dude, now I need to go all in. I've been doing this too long. Can anybody relate with that? Give me a 5 in the chat if you can relate with that or you're going through that, right? Because I think everybody goes through the same thing, right? No, not everybody's got $8,000 to drop on leads your first month. But guys, we've all made dumb purchases on our credit cards, right? All of us. I'm number one, right? But go on there, and if you're just scared to invest in your business, you need to reevaluate where you're at. Because guys, your only overhead in this business is going to be leads starting out. Tobe, coming back around, bro, we got a lot of new agents, like less than 90 days in. How are you getting your agents going fast?
So first thing really would be schedule. So we always want to kind of figure out the schedule of each agent. Obviously, some people come in here with intentions part-time, which we're very excited for them as well. And some come in full-time. So the first thing really would be mapping out a schedule. And then we have an accountability call with each agent. And it's probably 30-45 minutes where we talk about lead flow, budget. We don't shy away from warm market sales, by the way. So we're talking about that as well. What do you want to start leveraging? And then we talk about schedule and what you can commit to. And then we hold you accountable to that schedule. The moment we are more invested in the schedule versus you being invested in that schedule, no one's mad at you, but we kind of have to focus on other agents. So like we let you design the schedule you can commit to. Now, if somebody says, hey, I want to go write 30 my first month, I would give them a recommendation. If they agree to that schedule from day one, all right, so you're going to be on dial 7:30. If you're there at 7:35, I got to focus on Joe over there because he was on at 7:30, right? I still love you, but I got to focus over there. So it's just setting right expectations up front. We talk very heavily about mindset because that's what this business is. Everybody has the same phone script. You know, that's probably why we're not training on phone script here, is because you guys know at this point it's not the most important thing. It's the phone scripts are the phone scripts, in-home telesales. That's the simple part of the business. We talk about how you're going to handle a bad day when you get no-showed 12 appointments that took you 12 hours to book the day before. We talk about, how you're going to handle a chargeback. We prepare people for those kind of the guaranteed obstacles that they're going to have. And then we train very, very heavily. We're just actually starting to do this. We're training very heavily on the objections that people are going to get in the business. So we spend about 30 minutes, not on the phone script, but just the objections people are going to get. Make sure they have that thing mastered down. So after that point, it's just sticking to the schedule we've planned. If anybody falls off of that schedule without communicating, and again, we're all independent contractors. We just let people do what they want to do at that point, and then we go recruit more people.
Bro, I'm taking notes the whole time. Like, dude, this is gold. I hope you guys are doing the same thing. But guys, anybody looking to build an agency, right? How much easier is it not to chase your agents, right? Because Tobe, if you sat me down and you're like, Josh, how many hours can you commit to going with you're starting part-time? What does that look like for you right now? How many hours are you willing to put in each week? And I say, hey, I can do 20 hours. I'm gonna show up Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Those are the days I can go all in on FFL, right? And if I don't show up Friday and then I show up to dial day on a Saturday on a live dial team at 1 p.m., guys, that agent isn't that serious about doing this thing, right? Like it weeds agents out real fast. And I think that might be a problem as to why we're not growing as fast as we're growing. It's because we're not setting those expectations early. So when the agent says, I need to make 20K, we're more excited about that 20K for them than they are, right? Because a lot of people want change, they want financial freedom, they want to do better for their families, but they don't want to work outside of their part-time job right now. They want to treat this extremely part-time. So how are you guys kind of weeding out agents? Are you guys just doing that fast and figuring it out real quick?
Yeah, it takes a while, because sometimes people fall off and come. We've all had personal situations where you fall off and you come back. So we have mercy in that context. But again, up front, we just set the expectations, and we focus less we ask people what they need to make, and then once they throw it out there, it's not even relevant anymore. So like how I set my goals is, for example, if this month I said I want to go do 40 grand, I've got it. Everything now is not about 40 grand. 40 grand doesn't matter. That's just talk. Everything that matters now is, okay, well, how many leads am I getting? When am I going to work? So we're just really telling people like this is what it takes, man. It's going to be a schedule. It's going to be discipline. And as long as you have the right, I saw someone put that in the chat, as long as you have the right workflow, the right lead flow, it's almost impossible to fail. And when agents start losing track of the workflow that we agreed on, the schedule, I communicate with them. Like I personally text them and be like, hey, you're probably dealing with some stuff right now. I see I'm going to give you some distance because I don't want to micromanage you, but let me know when you're ready to get back up and rolling. I'm here for you. That way I'm not stressing. Am I neglecting them, or am I being rude to them? Or, I think it's best if we just communicate up front. And I think it's working. People respect that.
Bro, and that's huge. And I thought about that with clients too. If you're just checking on them periodically, like and something goes wrong, they know that you've already checked on them. It's kind of the same thing with our, selling and building. You don't want to wait till something's bad to reach out to your agent. And that's huge. Because again, it's an independent voluntary army, right? We are all voluntarily doing this. But I think at the same time, knowing that people got your back, not just when it's bad, but like, hey, like we need to have more of those lines of communication open, and dude, I'm taking notes on everything, bro. What else? Dude, virtual and in-home. What percentage of your team are doing virtual and in-home? True numbers. And if someone's new wanting to come on board, do virtual, what does that expectation look like for you? This
is probably be the most sensitive topic since I joined FFL, man. I'm stuck in between because you got to be, so if we're being real, you got groups that are crushing at telesales, right? And you got groups that just can't figure out telesales. And you got groups that are still trying to balance that out. So we're probably in between right now. I would say we got 70% in-home, 30% virtual, which is actually my numbers. So 30% of my sales are done virtually, 70% are done in-home. We lead, to be honest, we lead new agents in-home. if they haven't sold anything in their lives, if they have no experience over the phones, and we will ask them, like, because we have we had an agent success manager, and one of the questions they ask them is, have you ever done any kind of cold calling, call center, phone work? If no, then we're like, you probably are best suited going in the home. Now, if they insist for XYZ reason, then of course, then we're open to that as well. But we're very clear, like, hey, the in-home is more forgiving, meaning when I started, even if I had some experience in insurance, when I started, I didn't really figure out the application thing. Like I was like American Amicable, but I was in front of them. So Joe and Mary were just like, dude, take your time, and you want some coffee and wine, beer, what do you want? But over the phone, if I tried that over the phone, like they're just gonna hang up on me. So one system now that we put in place is, and what we're teaching a lot of new agents is referrals done virtually and leads done in home. So one of the like, so I did 50 grand last month in sales. 15 of that was referrals, all done virtually. So 15 of that was actually not just referrals, was the beneficiaries of my insured policies. So we're teaching new agents, when they write policies, they should get 5 beneficiaries. So 2 beneficiaries and 3 emergency contacts. And when they get that, those they should text the client while they're still on the sale, to text those people about, hey, my life insurance broker, Josh Crenshaw, cool dude, just help me out with a policy. He's going to reach out to you for some details. So now the new agent or myself, I would call those people and just do it virtually. So that's a much easier sale to make virtually than calling a lead off the top. So that's what we're doing right now with agents.
Guys, and again, that's something I haven't heard in a way that they're doing it. But if we're not doing it, that's something you can implement in your business right away, right? Because guys, if you've already protected, Bob and Mary, grandparents, and they give you their kids, there's automatically going to be more trust there, right? And again, that just gives you more practice doing virtual sales over the phone if you haven't done it before, right? And same thing, vice versa. If you've only been telesales and you're not seeing the result you want to see yet, so maybe it's just time to switch it up. Go get in the field. Go run 30 actual appointments in the field and see where your results lie at the end of the week. Tobe, we're gonna pull it to a close, bro. I've gotten so much notes out of you, dude. Respect you big time, man. But last thing I'm gonna ask? Where are you guys getting your leads, bro? What type of leads are we getting? Are we just doing exclusively CRM and really crushing the work spots? And where are you going with that for new agents?
We recommend CRM leads. I know control leads is one of the things we got some success in right now. But I run 3-month-old leads and 1-month-old leads. The numbers just make a lot of sense to me. I mean, I've done it all, mailers, and I rather spend $3 a lead than $60 a lead. Because if that $60 lead hangs up on me, I don't know where my temper is going to take it. So that's where I'm at with that. So yeah, it's basic CRM leads. If somebody insists on, hey, I got this, got it, do your thing, chances are you most likely will come back, and then we'll kind of help you out at that point.
And guys, just on our last slide that we went over, guys, they're 45% off the 3-month leads right now. $150. There's literally no excuses not to load up. You got a $50,000 a month producer saying that's what he does, and that's what he's showing his growing agency to do the same thing. Guys, where we're going wrong is, I can guarantee we're not working 40 hours a week. Guarantee it, for the agents not seeing the results. I can guarantee that we're not purchasing enough leads. Tobe, how many 3 months for a new agent just getting going, never done the phones before, are you recommending I get?
With this discount, get 300.
300.
Easy. You're gonna have a blast and have a party, and yeah, that's what I would recommend.
So guys, if I invest about $400, I make one sale, I just double my money off of 300 leads. So everything after your first sale is pure profit. So guys, put the numbers in your favor, man. Because Tobe, when we started, man, we only had $30 Facebook leads. So when I was calling, working a bartender, serving, money, that's what I had coming in. Everything was emotional, right? Every hang up was so dang emotional. But if we're out there getting $1.50 leads, guys, I'm okay when Bob curses at me and hangs up. It's not the end of the world, right? I'm going to continue dialing because I know we got to slay some dragons to get to the princess, right? There's a lot of more leads to go get to. But Tobe, man, super appreciative of you getting on, taking the time. Anything that you would like to say to the team before we hop off, man, but appreciate you.
Well, appreciate you both, Alondra, Josh. Appreciate you guys for having me on. Appreciate all of you guys for listening. I would just say what I ran through, just summarize it, is figure out a schedule, figure out how many hours you're working, and then double that. Everything else will handle itself.
Thank you, brother. All right, Tobe, we will see you soon, man. Appreciate it.
Thank you guys. Yeah.
All right, bro.